Before we get started today, a quick thank you to regular viewer and new Bish's customer who chose our front door here recently, screen name content of character. They were kind enough to send me this neat little hat right here so that I can literally look at people and say, do I look like the kind of person that would ever mislead you? Of course it's my natural hair. But a little more to the point. Welcome everybody to Bish's RV. We're here in Coldwater, Michigan today, although we have these Della Terras at many of our different locations. This is their 271 bunkhouse. And this could be a great option for someone either getting their first family camper, or if like you've had a small pop-up or small camper and like, you know, you got stuck inside on a rainy day and you're like, we are going stir crazy. We need the extra space. That's where this one comes in with a slide out. Now, these Della Terras, they're kind of growing on me. It's what I kind of call a smarter class camper. It's not the flashiest, fanciest thing, but it's like an infantry soldier. But the thing is, it's got the right junk in the right places, and it actually has quite a few very surprising features. And I was really excited to look at this 23 season and see where a lot of the feedback that you folks left on our videos last year, they're listening and they're adopting. For instance, they now have a pretty solid, in terms of this class anyway, factory available solar package. You have either a True Queen or a 70x80 King available in these. The King is actually standard, the Queen being optional. Enclosed heated belly, enclosed docking center. They added a window to the door basically at your request. Like, they're doing a lot of cool things there. They're a little bit taller inside. It has a private bedroom, which is nice. And with the longer bed, you don't got to worry about Ted, Ned, and Fred, the bed goblin union, ripping your toes off at the end of the night because your feet won't hang off the end of the bed. It's also a carpetless slide, which is one of the things that I really like about these. It's got a couple hang-ups. Like, this is not the best model for direct viewing entertainment. However, when you do option a TV into it, at least it pivots out to you. So it's got some good, it's got some bad. I'm going to point out a little bit as we go, and let's see what other feedback we can give them. So let me know what you like, let me know the one thing you'd change, and if you appreciate the fair way we go about this stuff, hit that subscribe button, and let's get rolling before we have a hairy situation. So if you're new to this series, you know, who is this for? What does it offer? You know, what kind of hitches in its giddy-up might this RV have in store for you? That's the kind of stuff that I want to focus on in this video. Because again, this RV has some very good qualities, and it's got a couple pretty significant points of concern, I think. Some things that might be problematic or deal-breaker factors, or at least something that, you know, with some proper forewarning, you can work your way around them. Now, right up top here in the kitchen living area, I just want to point out they do throw an extra vent right there. It's not powered, but this is not a laminated roof, and with lights on both sides, there's 12-volt power available. So if you wanted to do some things like fan upgrades, you could do that. This is not a brand that's going to give us, you know, big factory vent fans, although that would actually be very cool. Now, one of the first things I want to do is give them some credit. They listened, and I mean, there was an overwhelming voice from you viewers that said, give us a window in the entry door, and they did it. I really appreciate when factories listen like that. That is a good sign for me of a company that's really willing to try to improve themselves and not just keep cranking out the same old thing and say, nope, nope, we know better than you. You know, they're just giving the people what they want. Now, the entry door window doesn't have a privacy shade, but that is certainly, once again, something that could be added. And I'm sitting over here at the sofa position right now looking around just to kind of give you, you know, sort of driver's seat point of view. The RV does have very limited campsite windows, and sometimes people go, why do they always do that? Why do the manufacturers give us all the big windows over here on what they feel is the wrong side of the RV? And the answer is because this is the shortest, lightest weight, and least expensive way to build the floor plan. Because where I'm standing is the entry door. So that slide out would overlap with this door by about 2 feet. So in order to flip-flop this somehow, you'd have to make this exact RV about 2 feet longer, which probably means about $2,500 more and more weight. Those are some pretty significant deal-breaker factors right there. So this is why we end up with something like this. Now, there's a lot of logic that says in a stick and tin camper like this, you know, you're just trying to sleep as many people as you can and give yourself enough rainy day sanity space as possible. The rest of the time you might be outside kind of hanging out, partying, you know, camping, getting dirty, causing trouble, all those kind of things. That doesn't work for everybody. For me, that works just fine, but not everybody. Now, that's not carpet in the slide floor. That's something Della Terra did a good job getting ahead of right away. is having that marine woven floor in their slides, and they did a very good job right from the start of having no vents in the floor. And the funny thing is, a lot of times when a company comes out that's brand new, like East to West is a relatively young manufacturer, although they have some very good experience among their team over there. By not necessarily being around for a long time, they were able to really take a lot of different things that people said they wanted, like get the vents out of the floor, get the carpet out of the slide, and they were able to implement that right from the start. Similarly, you'll see a little miniature enclosed docking station outside. Now, when you start stepping up into a laminated Alta, that's when they really start pulling out all the stops. Here in a stick and tin, they are still constrained by a specific budget, so certain things like no slide side breeze windows, unfortunately, that is something that you kind of, I don't want to say get to enjoy, but is the case here. And once again, I will tell you, maybe good with maybe not good, and let you decide if this is the right RV for you. And if you appreciate that, if you're new with us, again, hit that subscribe button. I like how they put household and USB outlets in both bunks, though. And that open air ladder wall sure makes the whole RV look and feel bigger. Now, that curtain, that is a heavy-duty blackout kind of curtain, and we'll get a better look at that in just a few minutes here. Now, stepping forward, another surprise on these, porcelain foot flush stool. And this floor plan is very fluffy friendly, I think. Now, this RV does have a direct entry bathroom door right here, but again, one of the cool things about that is it does have a deadbolt, so you don't got to worry about sharing the experience with the neighbors. And the taller 6'9" ceiling in this means you have some very good headroom up here in the shower. Now, I'm at kind of a bad angle to properly display it for you, but over here on the left, you do have a full medicine cabinet and that very Forest River-centric gigantic bathroom sink right there. And kind of giving you a little bit of the X-ray vision view of those, just so you can see what kind of storage space you have there. They're doing a cool thing in the bathroom as well. This is one of those little, again, touch detail things. You may have noticed there is a switch on the wall for just the light. But you can also activate this one here, either on, off, or in motion mode. So that, if everybody's sleeping at night and somebody needs to get up to the bathroom, you don't have to go smacking the walls around, waking up the kids at night or something like that, or the kids waking each other up trying to find the light switch. It'll just kick on when you need it, where you need it. Now, the taller ceiling, they've also taken the opportunity to express a taller slide out, which is very cool. But let's dive deeper into a few more details, starting here with this dinette. You see that you do have full extension drawers down below. There's also a chest-style storage under that jackknife sofa, but you have two other sofa options in this. We're looking at one of three here. That's the default. You also have the option of going with a tri-fold sleeper sofa or a full-on theater seat recliner. So I'd be really curious, in this camper with this layout, which one would you want to go with personally? Now, you're looking there at the 12-volt DC compressor fridge that comes standard in these. All of your countertops, by the way, are a sealed edge press membrane. So if you happen to spill something somewhere, really not a big deal. Obviously, you don't want to leave it. You want to wipe that up. Now, the TV's optional in this one. And this is where I said this is not an ideal floor plan, I think, for primary entertainment viewing. I think that the Super Slide and the TV added this one, my 2 cents, me personally, is here to get you through a rainy day. The TV pivots out enough to view from the slide when you need it. Otherwise, it's mostly out of the way. But that's my 2 cents. I'd be curious, is that the right way, the wrong way of looking at it? And if you dislike that, there's plenty of other floor plans that can still certainly work for you. A little electric space heat and Tootsie Toaster down here also does a fantastic job on those spring and fall camping days of making it a little roasty toasty in here without burning up all your propane. Now, a couple other fine details here before we step up into the bedroom area. It probably costs like 2 cents. I don't know. But so many manufacturers don't include that little cleat to keep that, like you have to have a draw shade over here near that stovetop fire source for fire code. You can't just put a pleated shade or anything over here. But most manufacturers just let that string hang down to the fire if you want it to, which doesn't seem smart to me. I like those little user-friendly details because the fellow that Primary develops these, he goes camping. He owns a Della Terra. He uses the exact RV he builds. That says something to me. Now, the door didn't want to stay open, so I utilized one of these big fluffy armrests right here off the sofa to kind of act as a doorstop. Nerdism number 37, by the way, those things are called biffers because of the sound they make. So, you know, now you know. Now, very private bedroom up in here, and you've got two big bed swaption options here. Now, I'm in flat angle camera mode, so this thing eats the camera up, and truthfully, the standard default bed absolutely dominates the room, but it's a 70 by 80, like fifth wheel king here in a stick and tin, what people would call entry level camper. That's where I kind of call this a little bit smarter class. Porcelain stool, enclosed docking center, like a couple of the, like, you know, carpetless floor with no vents. There's some smarter class features that they've put in here. That's where that's where I use that phrase. Now, if there's extra things like you wanted to upgrade a fan or something, there's some preferential items. Yeah, certainly you could do all of that in here, but it does the big stuff for you. The small stuff, screwdriver work, they make it so it's not hard to do that. Now you can, if you want more walk around space, you can swaption down to a 60 by 80 queen. And if you get a factory king like this in a camper off one of our store lots somewhere, you can always size that down to a queen too. I think what I would do is I would decorate this with that picture of Ace Ventura from When Nature Calls, where he's climbing out of the rhino's butt. That is just such a classy way to say welcome home. But, you know, you may notice that there's also some TV hookups over there in case you felt like actually watching Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, which, I mean, I think we can all agree is like a James Lipton masterclass in just American movie cinema, and I will die on that hill 1,000 times for sure. And one of the other awesome qualities on this camper is the way that they laid this out. It's extremely travel stop friendly. Now, I want to point something out here. This is a rack and pinion slide in a towable RV. What that means is that nobody, no supplier, no manufacturer actually checks to see if it's okay to occupy and use that slide when it's closed like it is now. So I cannot in good conscience tell you, yeah, you can use the dinette, you can use the sofa. If you want to use those, you really should open the slide out. But if you're careful, you can twinkle toe your way around the peninsula, and without doing a whole lot of hard work here, you can slide from front to back in the RV. You can get to the bathroom, the bunks, the bedroom, all your kitchen space. You just can't necessarily sit in the slide out when you're going down the road here. But also remember, you do have a second door straight into the bathroom. So if the kids go, Mom, I got to use the potty, and it's like a we got to stop now kind of thing, you can get them in here real fast. Or you could just wet your pants and be like, told ya. Pardon the glare coming in from the sun right there. We're not getting a really good look at the true color of this thing. But as we're working our way around it, real quick, let's take a second look at the weights and measures and let's talk towing. This RV, I think that if you visited a lot of stores, a lot of people go, oh yeah, half-ton towable all day, no question. Well, it kind of depends. The thing with East to West is they're never worried about being the smallest, shortest, lightest weight camper brand. And as a result, sometimes that does mean that you might be kind of borderline where you might want to step up to a different vehicle. Now, the thing that I'm getting at here, like this RV itself weighs about 7,000 pounds. Certainly, that kind of sounds half-ton towable. But the thing is, they're not putting minimal axles down here below that enclosed heated underbelly. This thing has about a 9,600 pound GVW, something like that. That means maximum weight with full cargo and everything. Well, as a result, if you fully load this and factor in the length of it, if you're flatland towing, say in southern Michigan, you got a very capable half-ton, yeah, you could probably do it. If you're going cross country, you're going through the Smoky Mountains or something like that, you're going through the Rockies, if it's a crazy crosswind kind of situation, I don't think you're going to enjoy trying to tow this with a half-ton. But actual owners of an RV like this or this floor plan, if you have some towing experience you could kind of share with the class, I'd certainly appreciate if you were willing to chime in. Now, did you notice on the other side of that full pass-through over there, you did have an enclosed basic docking center, nice little touch details like that. You may have also noticed in there the charge controller for the optional solar package. Once again, originally these had no allowance for like even, factory roof solar prep or anything, and your input caused them to include things like that window in the door that they lacked before, to include solar prep, an optional solar package. These are all things they're doing because you folks have spoken up. Now, another option that we're looking at here, like you can kind of dress one of these up, you can also get them pretty basic, is a little miniature kind of camp kitchenette, camp convenience center station right here, where you got that slide open griddle and Dad's medicine cabinet right behind it, with of course the propane cooker hooker right down below. You don't have to have that there, and you can actually get a little bit more kitchen storage if you don't have that there. The awning is one of those things that on a big sidewall camper like this, it feels a little bit lacking, but it's sort of kind of caught in the crossfire because they did put that big bedroom window in there. If they tried to slide the awning forward, it would be hard to kind of thread the needle between the awning and the bathroom. Overall, it's enough. It just kind of, it'd be nice if it was a little bit more, but that at the same time, it's kind of a stick and tin brand camper. The budget doesn't allow them to go whole hog on everything, but I give them serious credit. Personally, I like the idea of manufacturers just not even including outside speakers, but if they're gonna do them, put them down here at the level of your chesticles so you're not blowing away the neighbors with your free bird or whatever you're listening to. Now, here in the full Della Terras, you actually have standard Goodyear Endurance radials and a Goodyear spare tire. Now, the thing is, I use the word standard. The factory uses a phrase, it just drives me nuts. Mandatory options. I really hate that phrase. The entire RV industry has mandatory options, and it really drives me bonkers. But the fact is, this has Goodyear tires on the ground and on the spare, which is nice. Now, of course, we have that second entry door there into the bathroom, and where that is really handy is it cuts down on so much dirty foot traffic through the camper. Now, remember, you have a deadbolt, so you have the choice between, pooping alone and pooping with friends. It's totally up to you. And once again, I don't mind the fact that there's no window in this door. That kind of makes sense to me. That doesn't bother me. And right behind that, there is a little cold water sprayer port hookup where that's really nice. It's right next to the door, the bathroom door. You can hose the kids off a little bit before they go rinsing turtle slime from the lake down into your, your holding tank or whatever. But I guess if you're gonna have turtle slime in your RV, that would be the place for it. Now, I brought out my own personal telescopic ladder for the back of this thing right here. That is not something the factory includes, but at least they're giving us the ability at our own discretion. If we want to be able to access that walkable roof, we now can do that. Last year, they had no allowances for anything like this. Now, if you couldn't tell in the background, you can see those colors changing on the trees back there. It's starting to get chilly in southern Michigan, which is why I chose to grow my hair out, of course, to be able to withstand the brutal Michigan winters. Anyway, you get the point. Fact is, there's not a lot of opportunity left for me in the rest of the season here to actually get up on roofing like this and show you around. It is fully walkable. Obviously, it's holding my dad bod father figure up here, and it gives us a better opportunity to come over here. I'm going to be very careful, of course, to take a look at their new optional 100-watt solar package. Last year, they didn't offer anything. Now they're at least roof solar prepped. It's a 100-watt factory solar option, which is a battery tender. It's a glorified battery tender, certainly. It is not going to be enough to offset like the fridge and the lights and everything else indefinitely. It might give you a little bit of extended time if you really want to spend some off-grid time, though. The solar package does have a 30 amp controller, so you could expand on that a little bit, and that's always stuff that we can assist for you too. Just let us know what you need, and that's the kind of stuff that our parts team can help fill in the blanks sometimes. Every person has a little bit different needs and wants, and some people, they're like, I don't know that I need any solar. At least 100 watts is always useful, because if nothing else, it will tend the battery on the front of the trailer, and keeping the battery tended will make it so that you don't have to replace a battery like every year or two. Frankly, the batteries that are on these, if properly tended and maintained, should last plenty of years. But most of us, don't think about that. So this is kind of one of those things where it can do the heavy lifting for us so that we don't have to worry about it. And it occurs to me, I got so excited to get up there on that roof and show you the solar panel, I forgot to finish everything else that was down here at ground level. So again, from the factory, that's kind of what the back's gonna look like. No ladder, but just that little hook mount thing. I prefer an always on ladder, you know, attached, but I'll take any access over no access. Now there is a water heater below the bunks, but they do put it all the way at the back, so that does leave this open for a pretty decent chunk of outside cargo space right there. What would you stuff in this thing other than Aunt Edna after she croaks on the family trip, of course? Now, quick note here before we wrap up. I don't do enough talking about this, but one of the benefits that you have when you become a Bish's RV client, whether it's a new or used RV, it doesn't matter, you become a member of our Diamond Club. And some of the benefits of that are what you're seeing behind us here. Like the weather's just now turning. You can see the leaves turning in the background. I have no idea when I'm publishing this, but at the time of this recording, it's mid-October and it's starting to get cold in southern Michigan. We provide a no-cost winterization to every one of our customers, even customers who bought from a store before it became a Bish's store. So all of our Haylet customers from my home store, you're Bish's customers. Any other store like that, you get a no-cost winterization on this every single year. And it's that extra little detail stuff we do that I really appreciate. And I thought I'd just kind of throw that out there. Actually, we had such a line of cars out the driveway getting winterizations this morning. The cops kind of paid us a visit, said, you know, you need to get these people out of the road or else we're gonna have to shut you down. So I love to see the response, and I love to see how we're taking care of people. I'll never claim we're perfect. I've never claimed ever that we're perfect, that any RV is perfect, but I'd like to think it's not for a lack of trying. Back to the topic at hand. Let me know what you think about this camper, good, bad, ugly, and in between, your favorite points and your least favorite points. I will leave you some links in the video description because certainly it's a fairly generic floor plan. There's some other brands that build some very similar things. I'll give you, if you're new to shopping, I'll give you a couple for cross comparison down there, and let me know kind of which one speaks to you a little bit better if you have a chance. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.